Okay, so hello everyone. I'm going to do this video probably really quick because I filmed this before, and let me just say this pointed out, I ramble a lot, and I realized I was rambling a lot. But the only two reasons I usually ramble is because number one, I'm super excited, or number two, I have lots of information to tell you, and I don't know where I was or what I was thinking about or already have told you. So that's probably why. And 420 requested this, but I probably should have done this anyway. But a lot of the things that pertain to finding the right art school for you have to deal with my how to find the right major video, because finding the right major can help narrow down where you're going to school, kind of thing. So that's a basis in state school versus regular art school, that kind of thing. How to find your major video, that's in that. But okay, so I want to start off first by saying I found my art school when I was in like 10th grade, actually in a magazine ad. I researched it online. I was like, oh my god, Mom, I want to go. So on spring break, we vacationed and we checked it out, and I really wanted to do it, and it has been my dream to be here ever since 10th grade in high school. So that's how I found my art school. There was a few certain things that were key to me, and that's probably the number one thing that you need to do first is find out what things are important to you in an art school or a school in general. Is it the faculty, sports even, where it's located, price. I know that's a huge consideration. Everybody's budget these days is how much is college going to cost you. So look into what makes what is important to you and your family first before you start narrowing down and deciding where you want to be going. Few important things that were really important to me were interaction with professionals. Is your school bringing in people to talk to you all the time? Are you guys working closely with international and major national brands to do projects or things of that nature? I know my school's really big on bringing in people and having events and stuff like that, and that was really appealing to me because the more I can learn from them, the better I will be later on. So I've gone to tons of presentations from people who have done all sorts of things in their lives, from ceramics to industrial design to branding to you name it, I've probably heard it. And even though I might not be going into all of those things, obviously, they've all helped me in some sort of way. So I really enjoyed that. That was probably my number one thing for me. Accreditation would probably be another huge thing. Who's your school accredited by? Is it a national board? Certain majors can be accredited differently than the entire school can be. Things like that. Look into that. Make sure your school's accredited before you go, because if you don't go to an accredited school, your degree will mean nothing when you come out and spend all that money and have done all that stuff. So just a thought. Another thing was location. I wanted kind of a different atmosphere of what I've been growing up in. I wasn't too into the, like urban kind of feel of a school, so I didn't really pick that. I know a lot of my friends are, so they did like New York or MICA in Baltimore, things like that. So what is surrounding that area, and what is there to do when you're not doing schoolwork? Obviously, that's a huge thing, because that's a lot of your time is, doing the artwork and doing the schoolwork, but when you're not, what do you want to be doing? And where is there for you to go to do that? So that's a big thing. Like if you went to MICA in Baltimore, you'd be a shot from DC, and you could go to DC for the weekend if you really wanted to. Just stuff like that. How far away from your family. If you want to go home every weekend, you might not realize it, but you probably will want to go home more than you think. Things like that. Location is important. Activities otherwise, are there clubs for you to join? Are there, I don't know, just things for you to do, events, activities, councils, student government, that kind of thing. Do you want to be on semesters or quarters? It's different schools do different things. It goes across the board whether you're an art school or not. So that's another thing. Another thing would be faculty. What has your faculty done in their previous careers? Go on their websites and read their bios, and usually each school has a bio of how or what they've done before or previously and their degrees. Do they have master's degrees? Have they taught art before? Have they had an art career? Like, what have they done? Because if you'll take classes from these teachers, they'll help incorporate what they've learned through their industry work into your class and what they can teach you. So, I mean, that's kind of a important thing, which is why some schools are a lot more expensive than others, because these people have been in the industry and they have the experience. So, I mean, you have to obviously like pay them more or whatever, but, and if you have a large amount of them, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, I mean, my art history teachers, like, they worked in national museums, they traveled the world seeing this art, so they can really fully on tell you, and you get a different experience. I would say just mostly location and what do you want to be doing. That's probably number 2 for me is, well, number 1, number 2, whatever. But that's huge. That's where you're going to be living your life. That's where you're going to be like, I went to college in New York or Baltimore or Minnesota or wherever you are. And you'll have to embrace that town because you're going to be alone. Your parents aren't going to be there. And you really have to love it enough to embrace it and work hard at it, because it's not easy. And you'll probably be calling your parents every day. But it's all on how you adjust and if you're ready for that. So if you want to stay closer, stay closer. If you want to go far and learn something totally different, then I would look into what is important to you. That is probably my number. I'm going to keep saying that. What is important to you? And then work around, make a list. Make top 5 things that are important to you in an art school or a school. So I hope that was helpful. I did ramble a little. I'm sorry. Let me just say this. But I did have my list. So I will see you guys next time, and thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys. Also,